So I'm just doing a little late night sharpen stance, as I like to call it. And I figured I would just take the chance. Well, a couple of things. I almost took down last night's video after thinking about it for a while. But by the time I got back to my computer, people had already seen it and were, you know, talking. So I figured, well, it's up. Leave it up. Stop being embarrassed about it. But I do kind of feel that it was a fairly maudlin video, and I want to get back to what this channel is supposed to be. I want to put something a little more positive up there. And I figured I would take a chance to once again show off my Walters, which is so far, I think, my favorite of my restores. Mostly because it's got the original helve on it. I was able to salvage the original helve. It's pretty nice. It's still got the maker's mark. You know, it's, while I've been organizing the garage. You guys who've been watching me for a while know that it's almost a joke now. One day I'm going to organize the garage. One day I'm going to organize the garage. But I've been working hard on it lately, and it's pretty well finished. There's just a few things, like there's a large pile of wood from our home renovations right there that I don't know if maybe we're going to get rid of or keep for projects or whatever. I don't know why I was talking about organizing the garage. Oh yes, while I was organizing the garage, unfortunately my beautiful Walters fell, and now there's a chip. I don't know if you can see that, but right, boom, right there, there's a chip out of there. So I'm gonna have to fix that up. Maybe get out my pretty new files and get on that. But you know, interesting. I kind of wanted to talk about my philosophy on shining up an axe. Sharpening up an axe. Sorry guys. I don't get it to the point where I can cut paper with it. I don't want an axe that's that sharp because I feel, and if anyone out there doesn't agree, I want to hear about it in the comments below, because I would love to have that conversation. But what I feel is that when it's that sharp, in my experience, it kind of makes the edge just a little more fragile than I would like. What I do bring to kind of shaving sharp is my carving axes, you know, the ones I'm going to be using for spoons. I like to test those on paper. But I'm never going to take my carving axes into the woods and go limbing with it or whatever. I do like to get a fairly substantial gloss on the edge, because I feel, again, if you don't agree, let me know. Let's talk about it. I feel it gives rust less purchase, less of an opportunity to get started, you know. And the thing about these sort of really rough heads is that there's already all kinds of pits and places for, you know, rust to get started if you're not careful. So not at the bit, not on my axes. So I like to shine them up good. But that doesn't mean that this is shaving sharp. I would not shave with this. Look at that helve. It's so narrow. It's got a beautiful feel to it. It's like they absolutely. Sorry, I'm looking at the axe in the screen just to make sure you're seeing just how like. The axe is my favorite tool. Sometimes when I'm looking at a beautiful one, I get kind of lost. In the video where I showed this one off, restored this one off, initially I sort of said that when I was taking, because this handle used to be white and then yellow, like painted. And as I was taking that off, I decided, as it was getting to like the very end, I decided not to go all the way. There's still a little bit of white in there, and if I don't know if it's going to show up. Yeah, right there. See, it's got um, the original roll mark or maker's mark or whatever in there, and I did that on purpose. And here on the other side it says hickory. Like, you can almost not see it, you know, right there. But I wanted to leave those just to show you, you know, anyone who picks up this axe, that that's the original helve on it, and as sort of an homage to its history. As you know, this is a Walters axe, probably from the early '60s, judging by the maker's mark. Made here in Quebec, company that sadly no longer made here in Montreal, in fact. And the reason I'm showing this off actually is because my Instagram buddy, Mike Morton, thinks that one of the axes I brought home from the flea market is a Walters. It's what they call a Montreal pattern head, and Walters made a lot of those. And so when I take a wire brush to that one, I'm hoping that I'm going to see a maker's mark under there, and then, you know, we'll figure that out right away. So Mike, if you're watching, I know we've talked about this axe. I love it. Oh, and there's how I did the wedge. There's no metal wedge. I thought I was taking a chance with that, but you know what? I've used this axe and it's pretty solid. If it decides to sort of start shaking apart, I'll stick a metal wedge in there, but there ain't one there right now. And I also wanted to show you guys another little project. In our kitchen we have these Henckels Zwilling knives, sort of the expensive Henckels line. And over time the handles have started to go like this. And the maker's mark is coming off as I've been washing them and stuff. So I took this one while my girls were away, and I did my very first knife restore. It's white bone G10, red liners. I wish that the lights in here were a more neutral tone, but I glossed up the blade something fierce, just like 2000 grit sandpaper. It's not where I want it yet, but it was good enough to show my wife when she got back, so that she could see that, you know, look what I can do, honey. And she was very happy. So now I've got sort of the wifely permission to do the rest of them, because these knives are just coming apart. I don't know why. I don't know what. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're not great with ultra, you know, extremely hot water, and because I do use very hot water when I wash the dishes. But anyways, Loveless bolts, Corbeils. No, Loveless are the ones that are threaded, right? I don't bloody remember. Yeah, they're Loveless. Anyways, there it is. Looks beautiful. So much work. And of course, I don't have the proper tools to do this. So to get this in here, I turned a toupee, for land's sakes, what's it called? A router upside down, clamped it into a workmate, put like a sanding tube on it, and just, like, I had one that was just miraculously essentially the right radius for that, you know. And I've got a belt sander. It's not one of those beautiful knife maker's belt sanders, but it really worked. And I just I left it kind of square because the original knife scales were kind of square, and I find for a kitchen knife it's a good shape to have. But yeah, so you knife making guys out there probably are like, okay, yeah, it's his first knife, nice, but to me, I'm very happy about it, and I'm definitely going to be doing more. Sorry about that, guys. Ran out of space on the iPhone. Oh, by the way, if you notice this, it's because the microphone on the iPhone has given up the ghost. The rapidity with which my video making equipment is failing on me is getting kind of alarming. But anyways, I've got almost no space, so I just wanted to put up a more positive video, sort of balance off the modeling one from yesterday. So if you like this video, share it, subscribe if you're not already, give me a smiley thumb. If you don't like the video, give me a frowny thumb. It's all fair, it's all good. And that's all she wrote. Thanks for watching, guys.